that actually was leading into the Trisha 5% part. I'll show you this clip because it is interesting how 2 years ago or 3 years ago when it was popular to shit on Trisha at the time.
Yeah. Can I clarify?
You had an opposite. You had almost a contradictory take to what you said about her now. When now it's popular to support Trisha. Yeah. I'll play it for you. Yeah.
Hey, all right, Ethan, I'm asking to end this. I'm asking
you can leave anytime.
Many people were really disappointed with the way that Trisha...
Yeah, I have to raise a great point of contention that you made me sound way too chipmunky. And if you ever include me again, I promise I won't claim you. Just don't make me sound like a chipmunk. Deal. Okay, great. We're on the same page there.
Paytas handled the fallout and how they pretty much turned it all into a grovel over money.
We end up paying for Ethan and Neela, which is crazy because he takes that 5% and VIP tickets to Disneyland is not cheap.
The nerve of her to complain about 5% when I'm literally not making a fucking penny at this point. It's just so disrespectful. It disregards all the hard work we do, not only on the crew, but now on my wife and all the people that worked on the merch. And it's like, okay, well, you know, fuck you.
I just remembered another aspect that I totally forgot. She started saying she wanted half of all of the membership fee. That like she was just taking everything so far. I forgot she even asked for that. And then here's kind of
production.
It's not like an itemized thing. We are doing the show.
Trisha receives a 45% cut of the show, while Ethan Klein receives an extra 5% that goes towards production costs. Now, first off, if the show is incredibly successful, incredibly successful, and all you're doing is paying your employees a base salary, putting up a fabric backdrop, a basic table.
It's funny. You said fabric backdrop and then you showed us outside.
Is that, I think that was the...
Oh, this is in your video.
A basic table and mics.
Oh,
you know, that 5% can get pretty chunky. If you're...
Now, I mean, obviously you're being a little bit hyperbolic there. Obviously we did a lot more than that.
Yes. Yeah.
Podcast is getting tens of millions of views. Incredible success. That 5% can really numerically change quite a bit. Do your employees get a raise because of that 5% production cost? Are you investing a ton into production costs? Or are you taking whatever isn't allocated to employees to the set for yourself? While to the public, 5% can feel silly to argue about, like a very small number, and how they pretty much turned it all into a grovel over money, especially if Ethan's argument was that 5% was for production and the staff.
He takes that 5%.
Which makes Trisha appear like she didn't care about H3 employees. I could also see why Trisha may start to feel like she was getting undercut when it came to Frenemies, and how they pretty much turned it all into a grovel over money.
Do you see how it looks a little duplicitous?
I think cognitive dissonance literally can destroy a person's mental state.
Oh, that was, somebody added that.
Takes that 5%.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's a little duplicitous.
I mean, I'd love to explain. So normally when I cover a topic, I don't like to circle back again and again and again. I normally make, that's also why again, I think that's exploitative. You have, not to offend other channels, that make continual topics on people. Again, if you feel that's necessary, let me know if I need to turn on my light at any point too.
The lighting's good.
Over here. Okay. But yeah, so for me, my content, I'll do these deep dives, cover a topic, and then I like to kind of move on. Just because, again, that's my feeling on the matter, especially with the type of content I do where I'm, covering extensively a subject.
If you're going to cover the same exact situation, two opposite ways that fits into the narrative of your video, it just doesn't feel genuine.
Again, maybe I shouldn't have, I should have clarified this, but as far as covering Trisha, again, that's why I didn't, go extensively hard on her. I added text to clarify, like, hey, I don't think she's perfect. I had some things where I was being a little bit snarky towards Trisha, but
Are you afraid her fans might be kind of upset if you've criticized her in modern day?
Again, no, I just felt like I had done a huge extensive video on my criticism of her. A lot of my criticism is the same. I also think that, growth is there, you know?
I guess I'm not
and
understanding the logic. Because it's not the same, right? It's you.
But if I can get to the 5%
yes,
aspect.
please. Sorry.
So after covering that, I kind of sat with it for a while. I think I mentioned this in my live, but she had kind of done a video. And again, this is another situation of this happening where I have to reflect and think about, you know, the ways that I cover content with the idea of someone who's viewing the video, like the subject themselves viewing the video in mind. Because I think she had done a video, like a TikTok, where my, you know, video was in the background, and I forget, it was kind of talking about, you know, how hurt she was from some of the content made about her. And so after that, I just kind of reflected on like what criticism went too far. And yeah, again, as I was making this video, I was reflecting on that a lot of that former video, you know. Yeah, again, I'm not part of your crew. I'm not part of the behind the scenes financials. I don't know what took place. I don't, you know. There's you know, various allegations. So I can only,
what allegations?
You know, yeah, you know, like I said, the 5%.
Well, that's not allegation. I took 5% more.
Or whether that's fair, whether that's not.
Wait, why
know,
are you
all of
laughing
that.
when you say 5%?
Because it's become a massive, you know, meme
Right.
at this point, and is sort of blown out of proportion. And essentially, I was kind of reflecting on if that was sort of, you know, fair for the internet to sort of make fun of the 5% meme, or, you know, if it was kind of people not taking someone seriously.
Things like, if 5% is worth a lot, imagine how much 45% is worth. Right?
Yeah,
like
no,
it's all in relation to.
Yeah, and again, you know, like I said, my you know, former criticism still holds. It's sad that, you know, a working relationship devolved in that way, but I also think that, like, you know, I think that, to me, my interpretation as a complete outsider is that, you know, she did see it as a business relationship, and that she wanted someone, a producer of some sort, to be there to advocate for her, to make specific choices.
Oh yeah,
so she didn't feel like
I
she was
have
being
talked about
sidelined.
this on the podcast. When she mentioned she wanted a producer, I immediately told her to find someone, and I would pay their salary.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, again,
and I'm pretty
just
sure
wanted
that's
to
even in the
mention
leaked conversations too, that she leaked.
So I wonder, like, what is your actual criticism? Are you saying that you think it's a bad deal for a talent to show up to a show? All they need to do is just show up and get 45% of that show's earnings. That's a bad deal in your opinion?
I guess my thing is, I think that she wanted a full business relationship. She didn't want to be the talent. And you know, again, from the statements,
was that a criticism of me? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
kind of how the business was started. By the way, she was treated as a full partner. I mean, whatever she wanted, she got.
Exactly.
Right?
And so,
But it's
I
not
think
like
that,
she had plans to become an owner of the company, or like there wouldn't.
No.
I don't know, what do you mean by that? That was not part of the discussion.
She called me
Again, I
Julie
guess-
in the
okay.
DMs, by
Can
the
I-
way.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. My you know, how would I say? I guess my question is, when these sort of collaborative projects are started, like Frenemies, are they treated like a business relationship,
it
like
is.
a collaborative business relationship? So I think that's sort of how it was viewed. You know, again, I'm not Trisha. I can't.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
but
that is
that's
What's
why-
the
sort of, you
criticism
know.
of me?
But that is why the earning is 45%. It's not like a flat fee of like, I don't know, $2,000. It's a lot more than
What's
that.
the criticism of me?
Yeah. So again, reflecting on my former content that I made about Frenemies, that was something that I felt like, okay, I could see Trisha's side of wanting a producer that could advocate for her.
She
I could
asked
see
for
her
it,
side
and I offered
of,
to pay. To,
Yeah.
This comment
and I'm
wasn't
glad to
even in
hear
the
that.
video, was it? I don't think you even talked about that in the
the
video.
producer? Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you did. You mention that she wanted a producer?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that would be a good reason to take 5% extra. If I was like, I'll hire them and I'll pay them. I'm paying my whole.
And then the only other
She
thing
never
was, you know,
invested any of her money.
Oh yeah, I paid for the whole set and everything. It was like $50,000 that I never even asked for a penny from her for that.
And the only other thing was, I think a lot of people were laughing at 5% because it seemed like such a small amount in the grand scheme of things. As you said, 45% is a good cut. The reason, what I was trying to say is like, okay, if you're getting millions and millions of views, that 5% can end up being more than like what most of us would see, So I could understand how.
But then the 45% is worth that much more too.
Yeah, of course. And again, but I'm just trying to, just look at that.
So you changed basically since you covered it.
So you're changing your opinion?
Yeah, it sounds like you changed your opinion. So when you made the Trisha video 2 or 3 years ago, you were very critical of her making it about the 5% and making it about money. Sounds like since then you've changed your opinion, and now she was justified in making it about the 5%.
Well, again, I didn't look at that in my original video of just how much, like, again, 5% of, I don't know the specific numbers. I'm literally just spouting random numbers, but 5% of 100 million versus 5% of 100,000 can be different. Also, asking about whether
it's not 100 million.
No, I know, exactly. Yeah, I'm just saying random numbers. Also, a few points I'm just going to say really quickly. I am really glad that the employees got a raise. That was just also my other question.
But why would you assume, why would you assume that I'm fucking them over? Like, why would that be the automatic assumption? Because I feel like I don't have to come out here. It's funny. If I came out here and was like, everybody's getting a raise and everybody's getting this and that, people would just accuse me of being performative. And it's nobody's business. I don't need to fucking air out their financial situation to anybody. So, like, why should I even have to come out here and talk about
because
the financial? Why don't you just trust them to be here of their own accord in a happy financial situation? Like, why do I need to come out here and virtue signal for everybody how great of a boss I am?
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, even in this discussion, the 5% feels silly to argue about, but it was so highly debated over that's why I mentioned it, But what was I going to say? No,
I don't think you answered my question. So do you feel like it's a bad deal for a talent to get 45% of a show that they just show up to? They don't.
Zero investment.
So that brings up what I was going to say. I think that almost anyone would take that initially, and then I think when there becomes these big blowouts where you're sort of seen as the crazy one in a podcast, and then you get this huge wave of internet backlash. But these massive viral podcasts, and they're all on the H3 podcast channel. You're not essentially what I was trying to say is across the board, it wasn't just the Frenemies episodes, but other videos as well that were seeing a huge boost in viewership. You were probably seeing a huge boost in subscribers.
What do you think was happening to her
large
views?
Audience. Fan base.
Are you aware that before Frenemies, she had a podcast that couldn't even break 10,000 views? It was canceled by the podcasting network because it was just it was costing them money. They weren't making any money. Her career was fucking.
It was mutual.
It wasn't in a good place.
It was definitely mutual.
Should I own a piece of her fucking her media empire for putting a show on with her?
Again, I think it was just on your channel, so I think over time.
But we made it.
There can get that sense that again, you're getting this huge wave of internet backlash. Another person's channel is skyrocketing. Feelings are you're going to feel a certain way about that.
She made millions of dollars from that show.
That is
by
not
the way.
accurate to how things went.
Yes.
I mean, she got a huge spike out of it just as much as our channel did, and it was mutual.
Why did she get backlash?
And plus, if anything, for a talent to not even have to post anything, kind of makes the deal even more generous. She didn't even have to post it anywhere. We posted it on our channel. She literally just showed up.
All the risk.
Like, show me another place that has a deal like that. I don't think you would find it.
Also, you're kind of. I have to correct you. You're talking about Trisha like she's the victim, but the reason she was getting backlash is because she was wanting to fire my entire crew and replace it with her own.
That.
Which is a company that she has no.
So I mean, she's accountable for her own.
She did not invest in this company. She was not here the years before or after Frenemies. That was just so inappropriate for her to ask to fire the whole crew.
Yeah, and again, I saw a video where she suggested that she didn't want to fire the whole crew. So I'm watching these videos.
It's all on record.
I'm listening to you.
I think it's all on record.
Yeah, and I'd love to see that. You know, as and for this, I did see multiple sources. Like I saw your video, I saw her video, I saw different. You know, so.
Seems like not enough, because even in this screenshot, you can see that Ethan says he wants to hook up the crew for extra work.
And then
that is in release text that she released at the time. So you would have had access to this information, for example.
But also, I says I was wanting to hook up the crew for the extra work, but then your immediate reaction was he's not paying his crew extra, is he? Sorry to put a voice like that. I didn't mean to make you sound like that. That wasn't fair.
That was not my reaction.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, you know, how everything was out. Again, the intricacies of this business relationship. It was an internet phenomenon. It's kind of, you know, fascinating years later to return to and you know.
It is very much an internet phenomenon.
I appreciate I appreciate the clarification on those aspects. As far as, again, I think another aspect is the fact that it's on your channel. You guys do have more control over the situation. So I think that wanting a producer, you know, who would be able to advocate, you know, maybe I don't know. You know, again, I cannot speak for someone else. I can't.
I feel like there's been an effort by Snarkers and Trisha fans to kind of rewrite history a little bit.
Because that point only came up towards the end when things pretty much kind of blew up and the show never happened again. That was not like something that was building up. She wasn't regularly asking for a producer and not being met with the request. Like that is not something that was part of the.
Do you like Trisha? Are you a Trisha fan?
Actually, I don't watch her show. I got the impression that she did not like me from, you know, showing the video in the back. And I feel bad about that, you know, and I've reflected on my own content in that way. Again, that's why I think about these things and try to revisit it from that lens. But I also think that, you know, again, I don't like that she shows her children in her content at all. Again,
you don't like that we show our children in our content too. That was another thing you raised.
Mm-hmm. And someone, you know,
that we were hypocritical.
Went into my aunt's you know, Instagram page and showed a photo of my child that my aunt posted to try and say that I was being hypocritical, which I did not think. I thought that was a gross overstep.
Horrible. That's fucking horrible. I really wish nobody would ever